Hey, what's up? Welcome back. It's Matt with MJ Gabel, and this is the state of the diamond market. I'm recording this January 23rd at basically almost 8 o'clock. You can see the clock behind me. I'm exhausted. I've got a 6-month-old at home, and she didn't get much sleep last night. Either did mom or myself. So pardon the bag under my eyes and the tired look, but we've got a lot to unpack. This morning was the Martin Rapaport webinar talking about 2024 and the way forward. I'm going to kind of be all over the place because I wanted to get this out while it's still fresh in my mind without writing a bunch of stuff. So I might bounce around a little bit, so bear with me. Also, stick around because I've got an announcement about a way to get a hoodie from us. I've had a couple of messages and emails into me about, hey, I love the hoodie. Must have seen it in one of the videos. How can I get one? So stay tuned for that. If I remember halfway through, I'll tell you how to get one. So a lot to unpack. I have to give credit to Martin Rapaport. It took a lot of courage to acknowledge. I think the tone of this webinar was different from the previous webinars in 2023. Less angry. He didn't attack the lab-grown diamonds as much. I think what had happened is I belong to a really big jewelers group online, and everything that he posted on YouTube and other channels was also being posted there. And the feedback from the jewelers wasn't really that good. And I think because a lot of these jewelers are younger jewelers, and they see different things on the consumer side, retail side, than Martin does. Martin's old school. Again, I respect Martin. He's done a ton for the industry. He's extremely knowledgeable in this business. And a lot of what he says is true and just and justified. And I agree with him, other than on some of the lab-grown stuff. So kudos to you, Martin, for it was a much better video. If you're looking for feedback and opinion, I think it was one of the better videos that you've done. You're on the right track. So now let's get into it and pick it apart a little bit. Martin says that the natural diamond market is in a difficult and serious situation. I agree. 100%. We have known about this. It was a major issue in 2023, so I'm glad we're addressing it. Martin Rapaport and the Rapaport Group expects natural diamond demands to fall 20% in 2024. They've already fallen, but he expects them to fall even more in 2024, another 20%. Lab-grown diamonds are expected to take over about 40% of the U.S. engagement or bridal market. He says he hears 30%, and he's hearing maybe 40%. I don't know who he's talking to, but I can tell you directly our experience is at least 50%. In earlier videos, Martin said he wasn't concerned about the bridal market, even though it was in a slump. We'll get that back. I disagreed with him in that statement. I think you're going to continuously be fighting to get the bridal market back from the synthetics or the lab-grown diamonds. And there's many reasons why, and we'll get into that. Martin feels that the jewelers like the lab-grown diamonds because of the profit margins. I don't think that's true, and I'll get into that. He says they sell them because, well, I'm saying we sell them because it's what the consumer is asking for. So Martin feels that a lot of these jewelers are purposely going to lab-grown diamonds and selling lab-grown diamonds because the margins are better than natural diamonds. They are currently better right now. And I went over this in one of my other videos, the margin's good, but the margins are better in natural because it's a larger price point. So you'll have to sell, maybe 2 lab-growns to make up 1 natural sale, if that makes sense, without breaking down the numbers. The jewelers are selling them because that's what the consumers are asking for. Time and time again, I didn't just wake up one day and decide I'm going to start selling lab-grown diamonds. I had no choice because I had consumers and clients that were coming in asking for them. And rather than not giving them to them and being stubborn about it, I needed to, swim, not sink. And I wanted to stay ahead of the curve and in the curve and make sure that my diamond business will be here. So we started supplying and selling lab-grown diamonds because that's what consumers wanted. I'd love to go back to selling natural diamonds. Yes, the margins are better. And were better in 2019, 20, 21. They were much better. It got bad when DeBeers in 2020 made it possible direct to consumer an $800 per carat price point. That's where the problem came in. Prior to DeBeers doing that, the lab-grown diamonds were priced at about $2,400 to $2,600 a carat, just under natural diamonds. So there's that. I will say that Martin is being very careful on what he's saying now. You can tell in the video, in the webinar, he's treading very, very lightly. And I think that's the feedback that he's got from posting on other channels and people in the industry. I think it kind of bit him a little bit. All right, let's see. Martin stated that lab-growns are not evil. And that's funny to me because it's exactly what he was saying in the 2023 videos, basically, is that they're taboo. You shouldn't be dealing with them. If you're in a diamond trade, you should be selling naturals. You should basically be ashamed of yourself. They're nothing but synthetics, on and on and on and on. I still feel that Martin doesn't like lab-grown diamonds. But he says in the video multiple times he's got no issues with them, no problems with them. And I think he's saying that, again, because he got some backlash from what he was saying previously. Martin asked, why should consumers buy natural diamonds? So when he asked that, he asked it obviously to the group, why should consumers buy natural diamonds? Martin is talking about adding value to your diamonds by origin of the diamond. So in this part, he was talking about specifically let me find it. He was specifically talking about pricing diamonds and raising the price of diamonds and using the consumer experience and also specifically emotional added value. So what he's saying is higher prices of natural diamonds will increase demand on diamonds and sell them with emotional added value. Martin, I don't think that's going to work. And he went on about talking about like a 7-star hotel, and if you've ever stayed at a 7-star hotel, and yes, a 7-star hotel is probably wonderful, but when you can stay at a 6-star hotel for a third of the price and not really know the difference between a 7 and a 6-star hotel, most likely the consumer, much educated now than they were 15, 20 years ago because of the internet, they're going to stay in a 6-star hotel. You can't push them into a 7-star or into a natural diamond. You will lose more sales if you try to push a consumer that comes in that's educated in because of the internet and wants a lab-grown diamond. And then he kind of doubled down on it, basically said if you can't sell natural diamonds, then you shouldn't be in the business. If you can only push lab-growns, you should be in the business. Look, it's not our fault. And I would encourage you, Martin, to talk to more of the retailers, the younger retailers, jewelers, and consumers out there. You said you did research. You said you had spent a lot of money and had your marketing and research team go out and ask these questions. I don't know what they're telling you. I don't know if you're just not hearing it, but I can tell you we're getting completely different answers on our side of the fence. And we sell virtually, in store, where we talk to other jewelers and they're having the same problems that we're having. And at the end, Martin obviously did do a Q&A and stated again that he had nothing against lab-grown diamonds, which is ironic to me. Martin did acknowledge that he was surprised that we lost so much of the engagement in bridal ring market due to lab-grown diamonds. I don't know why. Up to I think November, December, he kept saying that we're not going to lose it. He said we're not going to lose it because DeBeers, I think, made an announcement that they were no longer going to move into the bridal space. There was a scare there that DeBeers was going to move into the bridal space with lab-growns, and I think DeBeers realized that that would be probably a fatal mistake for their company and decided to back out. So I think that's where Martin thought that would save the bridal. We are selling more than 50% in our bridal side that are lab-grown diamonds. And again, I would much rather sell natural diamonds, Martin. The margins are better, and It just is what it is. Again, I have to sell 2 or 3 lab-grown diamonds to make the same margin because of the dollar amount on lab or naturals. So I'm gonna just quick go over some screenshots and graphs that I took. Martin had talked about how lab-grown diamonds go green, a Wall Street Journal article, and he's saying a lot of the news media is basically pushing the lab-grown diamonds. He did say about 75% of Gen Z customers or consumers said that the sustainability was more important to them than the brand. And 71% were willing to pay more for sustainability products. For some, having a stone made with renewable energy is something to brag about. Yes, I mean, that's the Gen Zers and the younger generations. There's like a cutoff. I think for the shoppers that are like 30s, almost 40, you can sometimes talk them into a lab-grown diamond if that's your motive and if that's what you're trying to do. And under 30 years old, they all want lab-grown. 40 and older, they all want natural diamonds. That's just the way that it is right now. So that's one portion. Martin showed some graphs about the 1 carat price points and how from 2019 to today, how they've gone up, specifically through the pandemic and through July of 2022, and then immediately crashed down to about 38% in January 24. He did a comparison about the S&P market, gold, and diamonds and a GDP, and you see all of S&P, the gold, the GDP going up, and then you see diamonds crashing after January 22, so last year to now January 2024. And then he also, this is surprising to me, DeBeers is announcing some loss here. So this was very interesting to me. This is in millions of dollars. So in 2018, DeBeers sales was like 5.3 million, I believe. That could be billion, I'm sorry. And 2019 it was just over 4. 2020 was 2.8. They took a 31% loss. And then in 2020, that was in 2020. 2021, they had another gain of 4.8. 2022, 5.7. And now 2023, they had a 37% loss. So they're down to 3.6. 2024's forecast for DeBeers is 2.8 billion, which is another 20% decrease. That's insane to me. Those are some serious drops in numbers. And I just did a video stating that DeBeers actually dropped, I think, 10 to 15% their rough prices. Again, trying to stabilize and kick up the sales side of the diamonds, natural diamonds. So that's pretty much it. I did stay throughout the whole thing. It got kind of rocky a few times and I almost bailed out. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys think and your feedback. If Martin makes that video public, I will share that and actually edit the video and include it. There is a couple things that I wanted to touch on. One is about the sanctions. At the end of the video, we talked about sanctions. I wasn't that familiar with it. I really wasn't following the sanctions. I think Avi Krawitz did a great job explaining how sanctions on Russian diamonds will work. So I'm going to include his link down below. I actually saw that after the meeting. So Avi, you did a fantastic job on that. I sent you a message. And also there is a CNN article, whether you're right, left, it doesn't matter. I just found it interesting about the new sanctions on Russian diamonds will change the global trade in gems. I'm going to include that link as well down in the description. How to get a sweatshirt. These are fantastic. They're very comfortable. They're like fleecy lined on the inside. All I ask, I will give a couple away. If you could do me a favor in the comment below, I need to know what hoodie size you're going to wear. And I also need to know your location. I want to know city and state where you are. And I will randomly pick a couple people, send you guys out some hoodies if you want to purchase some. I haven't even thought of pushing the product. I can make it available. Let me know what you guys think. I think we would be at a price point of about $35, probably keep it affordable. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. But to get a hoodie, no charge. We'll send a couple of them out. Like I said, below the size hoodie that you'll wear and your city and state and where you're located. That's all I've got. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to try to do as many videos as I can this year. As you know, I'm busy, but I like pushing the content out there. I love the comments that you guys give me and reaching out to me. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night.